here we are. As I like to say to the students I work with, wow, I just threw a lot of information at you. Sit with it, come back to it, agree, disagree, feel uncertain. All of the feelings you are feeling are so very valid. I don't sit here and claim to have answers. In fact, one of the hardest realities I've had to embrace throughout the SJHR program is that no one does. Even these brilliant scholars and theorists, academics, can't offer answers as to how to practically implement the scenarios they believe will promote positive change. I'm referring to radical change here, not change that addresses a symptom, but change that addresses the problem. The fact is, that kind of change isn't brought about in formal spaces. That change stems from hearing one another. That change stems from seeing the value each one of us brings to a space. That change requires a collaboration across identities, movements, borders, disciplines, experiences. There are a lot of things in this world that make me feel hopeless. There's a lot of broken and hurt and pain and injustice. Why isn't everyone outraged? Why isn't everyone scrambling to ensure that people don't die? It is so easy to be overwhelmed by the intersections of oppression. I find myself paralyzed. What good am I going to be able to do? Is it going to change anything? Where do I even start? Passion. In one of the discussions we held in our capstone course that has offered guidance as we build our compendiums, Dr. Colburn suggested that we lead with embrace our passion surrounding our topics. Karen Waldron, author of The Lightmaker's Manifesto, How to Work for Change Without Losing Your Joy, advocates for us to find our spark. We have a limited amount of energy, so Waldron suggests that we find a cause that we feel called to, that we feel we can genuinely contribute to. These contributions can, and in fact should, ebb and flow through time. After all, activism doesn't have a definite end. It's a process. Burnout is real, and Waldron hopes that by being involved with something we are connected to, by finding joy in the work we do, we will be fueled to continue. She says, joy is how we gather the energy to go back in, to do the work. Joy is how we remind ourselves what we're fighting for. Remember, generating change is a process, a collaborative process. Have faith that there are others doing good work on the causes you aren't. Activism looks different for everyone, so don't let the idea of what activism should look like stand between you and generating the unique light that only you can offer. Just upon reading the title, I was drawn to Adrienne Maree Brown's book, Pleasure Activism: The Politics of Feeling Good. I had a hard time reconciling the space pleasure could occupy when there is so much negative that often surrounds the need for activism. Brown calls for us to recognize pleasure as an essential, enriching, and powerful part of our lives. She writes, I think a result of sourcing power in our longing and pleasure is abundant justice, that we can stop competing with each other, demanding scarce justice from our oppressors, that we can instead generate power from the overlapping space of desire and aliveness, tapping into an abundance that has enough attention, liberation, and justice for all of us to have plenty. To be honest, I'm still sitting with Brown's approach. I include Brown's work here rather than the framework section because I'm still exploring how it fits into my own approaches. However, the concept of pleasure activism has influenced me. It connects strongly to my belief that we all make meaning of our experiences in different ways, and that desire is a beautiful and powerful feeling. By weaving essays, conversations, and work from feminist thinkers, Brown offers insight into the diverse approaches to pleasure activism and what it means to be a pleasure activist. To summarize, pleasure activism is the work we do to reclaim our whole, happy, satisfiable selves from the impacts, delusions, and limitations of oppression and/or supremacy. Pleasure activists seek to understand and learn from the politics and power dynamics inside of everything that makes us feel good. Pleasure activists believe that by tapping into the potential goodness in each of us, we can generate justice and liberation, growing a healing abundance where we have been socialized to believe only scarcity exists. While engaging with the works in pleasure activism, I felt empowered. I felt seen. I was reminded to seek fulfillment in the work I do. It was a welcome reminder that there are people out there doing good work that resonates with me and that I can and am contributing. I know that empowerment alone won't shatter the layers of oppression and complex dynamic of power in our world, but I know that empowerment has the potential to add crucial, valuable voices to the collective effort for change. I know that we must use radical and unconventional methods in our movements for change. So it seems fitting to me that embracing pleasure and passion as a part of the journey, finding it, acknowledging it, sharing it, would generate a disruptive force. As Audre Lorde said, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. I want to leave you with some of my hopes. Some of them are a call to action. Some of them are deeply connected to my personal journey. Some of them are unrealistic. Some of them I'm even afraid to acknowledge. I challenge you to think of some of your own hopes. I challenge you to find your spark and share your light. I challenge you to embrace your experiences, vulnerabilities, privileges, passions, questions, fears, hopes, hopelessness, uncertainties, frustrations, pleasures, talents, joys. Embrace your unique existence. Embrace your value.